Good evening, everyone. Oh, yeah, look, you see how unprofessional we are? You see how unprofessional we are? It switched the camera to the other one.
Yeah, and I don't think we're live.
Yeah, we're live. Why did it switch the camera? That was weird.
There we go.
All right, I'm back.
Okay.
All right. So, welcome to the least professional show on the internet. That's right. It's Toxic Masculinity. It's that time of the week again, ladies and gentlemen, where we screw everything up in like little ways and sometimes major ways. In this case, I don't even know what happened. That was weird. It just switched to my laptop camera. I don't know. Anyway,
it's all people. It's all on purpose. We're just faking like we're the worst show on YouTube.
Yeah, that was a hilarious joke, guys. All right. Before we start, I wanted to tell a little story. There's this guy that works downstairs at the hotel that I'm staying at, and he looks just like Short Round from Indiana Jones. He's like, if Short Round was 20 years old, he's like the adult version of Short Round, but he still looks young. He still almost looks like a teenager. He's a very young looking guy. And so immediately, the first time I met this, okay, you're calling me, and I'm calling you Short Round. So the rules. And this guy was like, okay. And so he's always called me. Are you paying attention?
I'm looking for that article.
Of course he's not paying attention. Well, I'm trying to tell you a joke so that you laugh. So give up the article for half a second. You good? You good? Are we good? Are we good? All right. For crying out loud. Okay. All right. Anyway, so did you hear anything that I said previously? Basically, there's a guy who works downstairs.
Something about a guy that works downstairs?
Yeah, anyway, he works at the little cafe, and he looks just like Short Round from Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, right? So the moment I met him, I go, okay, you're calling me Dr. Jones, and I'm calling you Short Round. And he was like, all right. So I've always called him Short Round, and he's always called me Dr. Jones every time he sees me, which is hilarious. And the other day there was like a cockroach in the kitchen, and he's like terrified of cockroaches. So I think this may be one of the most wonderful moments of my whole life. I grabbed some like paper towel, and I grab this cockroach, and I throw him in the garbage, and close the lid. And this guy, he doesn't speak English perfectly, so totally unprovoked in an Asian accent says, "Oh, thank you, Dr. Jones. You have saved us all." I was like, yes. If you can't go back to the 1940s and actually go on an Indiana Jones adventure, trust me, this is the next best thing.
The closest. All right.
This is the closest. Create the illusion that you saved the village. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
hey, those cockroaches are huge over there.
No, it was enormous. It was like that big. It was horrible. It was not fun to do that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, today on the show we have a magnificent guest, the host of the show Guns and Gadgets, a true gentleman and a true patriot. His name is Jared Yanis. Let's bring him in. Jared, I'm going to put you in the middle here. Hold on. There you go. There you go. You're right in the middle. Sandwiched in. Show him your shirt. This guy's got better shirts than me. I'm so annoyed. Official member of the government watch list. Why didn't I think of that? That's so good. I'm not going to tell you where you can get his merchandise, but he might.
And Chris,
so
you were saying, you definitely need to get that shirt.
I need the shirt. I think I'm on the list. Jared, thank you, man. Jared, tell us about your show a little bit and tell us where they can get the shirt because, why not?
Sure. The shirt you can get at tristartrading.com. It's my buddy's business. It's like a mile and a half from my house. He came up with this design. It's phenomenal because anybody who loves freedom is on a list. And if you're not on a list, you're not doing your job. My channel is Guns and Gadgets. I've been doing it for about a decade now. I focus on the Second Amendment. So any type of legislation or litigation, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, I try to cover it no matter where it happens in the country, because I firmly believe what happens in California will make it to your state if you're not aware of it and we don't fight back. So I try to make sure everybody knows what's going on, and I try to put it in layman's terms so it's easy to digest.
Yeah. And I believe you said before we started the show, we were just having a little bit of a chit chat beforehand. You said the words, I'm a lover, not a fighter, until I have to fight. And I just thought that's like the man rule, right? That's like the rule for all. That should be the rule for all men, at least all decent men. So since you've shared your t-shirt magic, I think we should share our t-shirt magic. Ladies and gentlemen, we have at my Teespring store here at if you go to Teespring, you write Teespring and you write Mr. Egg, and I'm sure you'll find it. It's in the description at the bottom there. I have these fight mugs with the, I feel like I mentioned this before, but I feel like it's being forgotten. We got a Toxic Masculinity shirt and mug there if you want to get that. But I feel like that moment that Trump survived an assassin's bullet, I feel like that has kind of been forgotten already. Like the media of like dismiss it. It's so terrible.
They did an excellent job. These people are evil.
Oh yeah, they did it on purpose.
Yep,
for sure, because they don't want him to win the election. They want to pretend that he's not, essentially, like, to me, he's like an American hero now. He's going to go to the history books as an American hero, and they're like, well, let's just forget about that for now because we want Kamala, the communist, to win, which is friggin' crazy. But anyway, that's why I think you should get a mug. That's why I think you should get a t-shirt, if for no other reason, just to remind people of what happened. Of course, when he raised his fist in the air, he mouthed the words "fight" for everybody. But maybe I should make one that says Trump on it, just so that it's a little bit more clear what we're doing, or something like that. Trump 2020. All right, well, let's get into the news. Unless, Jason, you have any entertaining stories to tell.
Yeah. No, not really. I don't.
Okay. All right. It sounded like that was a little bit of a, what do you call it? Like in basketball where they do a little trick shot, pump fake. There's you faked this out there, man. All right. Let's jump into the first story. Joe Biden has decided to enjoy the 9th day of his 2-week summer vacation. Let's go into the actual article here. It says the First Lady's 2 sisters and her senior advisor, Anthony Burnell, joined them on the hot, sunny day, the Daily Mail reports. The group sat under 2 blue umbrellas. Some passerby waved at them as they walked the beach, and the president waved back as he sported colorful swim trunks, a white T-shirt, and a black cap for his day of carefree relaxation. Biden, 81, arrived in Rehoboth Beach on Sunday after spending 7 days relaxing at an 8,000-acre ranch outside Santa Ynez, California, where he stayed as a guest at the $37 million estate of Joe Kiani, CEO of medical technologies company Masimo. Yeah, they don't even care who they're hanging out with now. They don't care who they're seeing. Anyway, Jason, why did you decide you wanted to share this story with the world?
Because exactly, like, who's running this country right now?
Yeah, exactly. Who is running the country? Well, the crazy thing is, I don't think anybody is under any illusion that Joe Biden was ever running the country. I think he was always a figurehead. I think he was always a puppet. I think he was always signing whatever legislation that somebody told him to sign. And anyway, Jared, what's your
no, I was going to say, I agree with you, and I think the public is finally seeing it, acknowledging it, that he was never in control of anything, and hopefully some Democrats will notice too now.
A lot of these man on the streets things are saying, like, like they're going up to people you would think would be Democrats in blue cities, like in cities, New York and stuff like that, New Jersey, and everyone there, black, white, female, male, gay, straight, maybe not the gay so much, but I don't know, everybody else are like, yeah, we're voting for Trump. And it doesn't matter who's doing the interviews. It seems like every single person in this country is voting for Trump. It seems like it's going to be like a 50-state sweep. Anyway, Jared, what's your thoughts on Joe Biden? Do you have any thoughts on Joe Biden? Do you even care about the man anymore?
Well, what Joe's doing is not uncommon. Every president before him has done it. Like the end of their presidency, they turn it into like a tour of the world. But usually not in August. And, it's kind of early for them to do it. But we know he hasn't been running the country. We know he's been a puppet. Like he's owned by Ukraine and China. So so whoever's been running the country for the last 3.5 years, probably Hillary and the crew, they're still doing it. They know that leatherneck Kamala's not doing it. So I don't think that things have changed other than just where Joe Biden and his diaper happen to be.
That's a great name.
God,
because the other day I was telling my wife, like, what's going on with her neck, man? Like, what's up? Some bad plastic surgery
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
All right, I need to subscribe to your channel right now. Guns and Gadgets, ladies and gentlemen. The man, unfortunately, not only does he have a better shirt than me, he's funnier than me. Okay, this is getting more and more offensive as we go. All right, let's get on to the next story. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Him and his diaper. Oh my gosh, yeah, for real. It's Joe Biden is an embarrassment. Actually, somebody the other day was a woman from Italy. She's like a crypto investor type of person I met at a party. And she's like, are you not embarrassed by Joe Biden? She's like, I lived in America for a little while and I'm embarrassed by Joe Biden. It's like, I don't even live there anymore and I'm still embarrassed by it. And I'm like, yeah, of course we're all embarrassed by it. But yeah, people, even internationally, people are embarrassed on our behalf.
I didn't vote for him, so I'm not embarrassed.
That's the most popular president ever, boys. Most votes in history.
True.
Yes.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
I love how that's like a punchline now. All right, let's see here. CNN's Anderson Cooper, he says by doing a joint interview, Harris has decreased the amount that she'll be pressed. It's an interesting point. Let me go ahead and play the clip here. It's 6 minutes. We might not play the whole thing.
Now from Democratic strategist Paul Begala, back with us also Abby Phillip and David Urban. So John King is always talking about how important it is for the two campaigns to cut into each other's margins. Okay, this is certainly that strategy. It's interesting.
I don't know if he's going to say that in this because it doesn't even say the right thing.
Yeah, it's weird, that whole interview thing. Yeah. It's tonight, right? It's just weird that like Walz is going to be there too. It's what she
did you hear the train wreck
she
needs was?
Oh, they did it already.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was pre-recorded because she can't do anything live without a cheat sheet, but it was truncated to 18 minutes because she couldn't get out of her own way.
Yeah, I saw a little clip and she was just saying the same stupid stuff that she usually says. But what gets me is the whole Waltz thing. Like, she needs a man besides her. Like, this woman can't do it on her own. Like, what is that? What are they saying there? What happened? Like.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It just seems weak, right? It seems like a moment of weakness where she's relying on Dad, America's dad, as they call him, to help her out. Okay, I think I found the spot where he starts talking about this whole.
Interesting that the same person who sort of seems to have devised that strategy for
Paul Begala.
Those rural American. When
okay, hold on. In arenas.
Yeah, it's about respect. And for too long, Democrats disrespected rural America, and this candidacy is not doing that.
Hold on, let me.
Those are leading Arizona.
You mean you didn't have this ready beforehand?
North Carolina, all
no, I didn't. Least professional show on.
Will it be for the former president?
No, I don't. Oh, here we go. This is it. I think.
For not doing the interview solo, do you think she should have done her first major interview since accepting the nomination alone? I don't know how long this interview is going to be, but obviously with two people, it does eat up the time, that a reporter can ask her directly questions and follow up with her directly.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single voter who's going to say, oh, gee, she's going to cut my cost of health insurance, but I didn't like that she appeared with her running mate. This is
not true.
One of the rare tickets. I think the only other time was Clinton and Gore, where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. There's something here, some alchemy. I don't think they knew each other well. That has really worked with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And I like that they're doing it as a joint interview. I will say, take you sort of behind the scenes, there are interviews and there are interviews. Okay, Mr. Trump goes on Sean Hannity, and that's puffery, not an interview. But he does do, and I applaud this, these large press conferences. The truth is those are a lot easier than a one-on-one or a two-on-one. Those large press conferences, I used to call them cluster gatherings. They're easy because reporters don't follow up each other's questions, right? They're all competitive. You're one-on-one, one-on-two with Dana Bash. She is going to hold your feet to the fire. It's going to be a very important interview and a very tough one. I think she's up to it, but let's see.
The way these useful idiots could keep a straight face amazes me.
I know. The spin is intense. Jared, let's just go straight to you. What do you think about that?
It's, I mean, anytime she goes on CNN or any Democrat goes on CNN, it's a puff piece too. You know, they just don't want to call a duck a duck. I think she probably would have had more success on this interview rather than Tim Walz if she asked Montel Williams to hang out with her for the interview.
Exactly.
Did you see the Judge Joe Brown thing? Oh my gosh. I'll send that to you if you haven't seen it. That's
Oh yeah, it's good.
It's fantastic. Oh my God. I'm doing a couple of parody videos coming up. One's on Elizabeth Warren. You guys got to check that out, by the way. Like that's going to be crazy. The Elizabeth Warren one is going to be mental. But then I'm doing an even more crazy one.
I got a sneak peek.
He got a sneak peek. Yeah. What do you think,
It's going to
Jason?
be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Amazing. And then the next Kamala Harris one after that is going to be, I think, the worst one I've done in terms of like being brutal. It's the worst one I've done.
Good.
And it will have a clip of Joe Brown in there.
Send me the one you do of Pocahontas, because when I lived in Mass, she was our senator, and I would love to see that.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's I'm thinking about giving you a sneak peek, but I don't think so. I'm gonna keep
you
it
had to live through
in
that.
my back pocket.
Ugh, she's horrible.
Yeah, really. It's weird because she's like teaches economics at Harvard, and she used to be a Republican when she was young and stuff like that. It's weird to me that she's gone so crazy.
Yeah.
She had a divorce at one point in her life, so I think it might have like twisted her brain into like, something
Yeah,
evil. I don't know.
Chris, we were talking on the phone about her, and I remember telling you that it's crazy because she's like practically has to live the rest of her life knowing that she's a fake, a joke. Like I can't imagine living the rest of my life just knowing that you're thought of as a complete joke.
Half the country calls you Pocahontas because you lied about your ethnicity in order to get ahead.
Imagine that's attached to you for the rest of your life. That must suck.
Yeah, that sucks.
The deep blue Bostonians love her. Love her.
Yeah,
really?
Fair enough.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, mental disorder, I guess.
Yep.
MMA Fix jumps into the comment section. He says, just sent you a better shirt. Check your tweet. Okay, I don't know what that means.
These shirts, I never see that he always writes about.
Oh, does he? I'll check the tweets. I don't know. All right, let's go on to the next story. So this is about Gavin Newsom. This is quite sad, actually. It's a sad story. The man that I thought was going to be potentially the next presidential nominee for the Democrat Party. Yeah.
This story I feel like is true, and I feel like Kamala took the decision to do this out of pure.
Okay, well, the headline says nowhere man. Kamala Harris pushes Gavin Newsom into the shadows. He used to be in a little bit of a spotlight, didn't he? He was visiting the White House. He was trying to look presidential for all the reporters there. And it says Newsom was once even forced to deny the harbored ambitions of replacing Biden at the top of the party ticket. Such was his eminence. But Axios reports that since Kamala was anointed in 2024, anointed the 2024 nominee in a backroom deal, you have to focus very hard to see California's governor striding the public stage, if at all. The outlet's Dustin Gardner states Newsom has spent little time campaigning in other states since his fellow Californian leaped to the top of the Democrat ticket, an abrupt shift after barnstorming the country for Biden, especially during the turbulent final weeks of his candidacy. Because can you imagine?
Yeah,
how
they don't have the capability to brainstorm, Chris.
No, they don't. Good call. All right, sorry. What were you going to say about this, Jason? You seem like you're quite excited to talk about the douchebag in chief, Gavin Newsom.
Of course, Kamala would say, "Get rid of that dude." You
think Kamala has actually orchestrated this? Put him into.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think he's just depressed.
I think so. I think she was probably pissed off that they were actually trying to say that he should be the one running. So I think that.
Well,
really
I know that
her.
was happening for sure.
Yeah,
I know that.
So I think that pissed her off, and she's mad at that. And I think this is kind of like revenge. Just brush him off, and
it's possible. I don't know. What do you think, Jared? Do you think he was just like, you know what? Whatever. Screw you guys. I'm going to go back to my garage and play with my toy cars. or do you think that Kamala has actually instructed them to hide Gavin? No more Gavin.
Well, I think so. I think that Gavin, they did him a favor by not putting him on this ticket because
100%.
he's much better of a candidate, better speaker. He looks the part. He talks the part. He would just overshadow her, which would help destroy her chances of success. But the Democrats, they definitely play by that book. Like, you'll have your turn when your turn is up. And I think they're doing him a favor by putting him on the sideline right now because, you know, go back to California and keep destroying that state and you'll be the next one up. I think they did him a favor, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of good blood between them. But again, it's probably more to his benefit than anything else.
Yeah, I've always thought that. I always thought that that they actually decided to save their best candidates. Like, I always thought, why did they pick Kamala? Because if they had asked me, who do you want? Who do you want to run against Trump if Biden drops out? I would have said Kamala because I thought Kamala was the worst possible candidate. And so I thought, well, they must be going, all right, nobody can beat Trump right now. He just got shot by an assassin. He became this American legend, like, buy the shirt, by the way. He just became an American legend. Nobody can beat him. Let's put up our worst candidate and just put this bread and circuses campaign out and try to dazzle everybody and try to, like, just fake it, you know, as best we can. And it's working a lot better than I thought. I think that they ever thought possible. I think that they're actually kind of shocked at how well this is going because I don't think they thought Kamala could win. Sorry for prattling on there, Jason.
I think they have to get rid of Newsom because everybody knows his record on California, you know, and I think the Democrats realize that people know how bad California is. Like, I don't think it's hit. I think even on their side, they realize how bad he did in California. So I think they want to hide him. And I tell you the truth, I don't even think maybe they're thinking that people will forget in 2028. But I think they're going to go with people completely new in 4 years from now. I think he's just, I don't think he's good for them at all. Just on his record alone.
Well, who else do they have? I mean, if somebody new emerges, okay, but
Big Mike.
I don't know if they.
Big Mike
by
is
Big
ready.
Mike, for those of you who don't know, he means Michelle Obama.
Anyway, really large back.
It's true. They're gonna say something out there. All right.
they're gonna in my opinion, they're gonna go for somebody young, probably a woman, person of color. You know, and that's what I think they're gonna go for in the next election.
Yeah, Gretchen Whitmer is definitely in the up and coming list for their party because she's about as communistic as any dictator ever has been. But she is a woman, so she'll garner votes just because she has ovaries.
But what I think they're gonna pull another Barack Obama because before Barack Obama ran for president, I was like, who is when he was on the ticket, I was like, who the hell is Barack Obama? I knew nothing about the guy, and I think that's what they're gonna do.
Jason, it's hard to find someone like that. It's hard to find someone who has that level of charisma that they can, like, you know, get all this enthusiasm around them. That's not easy.
Yep.
Trust me, I've tried to get other guys to host my YouTube channel. It's very difficult. All right. So, all right, let me throw this next story up on the screen. Now, this is an ad for the movie Reagan. It's not out quite yet, but it's coming out soon. And I'm really looking forward to this. It's funny. I don't normally comment on the ad so thoroughly, but Dennis Quaid has come out and become like a real sort of like a sensible guy. Like, he's come out and he said some like smart things, some conservative things, and he seems to be supporting Trump. I'm very impressed by him. And I will say that a few years ago, before the movie, when it was in production, even before it was in production, I actually met the actress who's playing Nancy Reagan, Penelope Ann Miller. You may remember her as Arnold Schwarzenegger's girlfriend in Kindergarten Cop. She was also in a bunch of movies in the 80s and 90s. But she was awesome. She was like such a cool lady. I met her at a party in Hollywood. And and she was sort of secretly, not maybe the most left-wing person in Hollywood. I won't say any more than that, but she seemed like a nice, reasonable person. So I would highly recommend everybody go see Reagan, the movie. Of course, I'm going to say that. let me close this out and get to the actual story here.
Know your
Kamala
audience.
Harris.
Know your
Know
audience.
my audience. Yeah, for sure. Kamala Harris is San Francisco to examine, replace up to 100 monuments. This seems so San Francisco. This is just like this is like the most San Francisco thing. It's like they took something that was like a phenomenon with the Black Lives Matter movement and with Antifa, and they decided to turn it, refine it, concentrate it, and make it like an official policy of the city. We're going to tear down the statues of any old white guy we don't like. Yeah,
That'll
on.
teach him.
Well, yeah. Well, that article right there is a perfect example of Marxism right there. That's what they've done throughout time. Before they've taken over a country or a system of government, that's what they do. They get rid of the history of that government.
The history.
Yeah. They get rid of all that because you can't have it. You have to rewrite history. You have to make a new history, replace it. So this is a perfect example of Marxism. This is a perfect example of why the Democrats need to lose. They need to lose bad because they are, I want to say the word, but they are effing commies, man. We got,
They really are. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy because I've been to San Francisco and I've walked through. They've got this beautiful park down there, actually, that they actually keep the homeless.
By the way, Chris, somebody just brought me for the first time banana pudding drink from Chick-fil-A.
Okay. It's good.
They just brought it to me right now, so first time I'm ever gonna try it.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Taste test.
But banana pudding is my favorite thing. Like yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Let's see.
It's interesting.
Wow. So it's not the best one you've ever had? It's not the best.
It's good. It's very sweet. It's very sweet.
Oh, okay. Maybe you need to water it down with something. I don't know.
A little vodka.
Put some milk
it's
in
good.
there.
It comes close to the taste of the actual banana pudding.
I think we have another Kurt Franklin here. He's suggesting that you water it down with vodka, Jason.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't hear that. Yeah.
Let's see. Fernandez T has jumped in. I've never seen this guy before. He must be new on the channel. That's a joke for Jason. He's not paying any attention, but
no, because I'm looking at the comments. It's actually people are talking about the drink. A lot of people like it.
I said, okay, don't look at the comments for 1 second. I'll tell the joke again. Maybe you'll hear it this time. I said, hey, Fernandez T has given us a super chat. I think he might be a new fan. I haven't seen him before.
Wait, who's Fernandez T? That's a yeah.
I don't know. New guy. Anyway, that's a joke. Sorry, man. This is an inside joke. All right. He says, women. Am I right, fellas? I mean, all right. Sorry about that, Fernandez. I had to throw that in there. You know what I mean? All right. Latino Slant. Oh, I love Latino Slant. He writes, Mr. Reagan, amigo, great live stream. Also, check out Quaid's film, The Long Game, and F. Kamala Harris. I love it, man. I've been trying to do a live stream with him, but he goes live at like the worst possible time for me because I'm like, I'm halfway around the world, so I can't do it. But we love you here at Mr. Reagan, Latino Slant. And I will check out The Long Game. Okay, I haven't seen that movie. Have you guys seen that film?
A long time ago, yeah.
Is that the one where the football where he plays a football player or something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It sounds like a football
right?
movie. Yeah.
I've seen it probably. I forgot probably already.
I'll have to check that. Okay, I'll watch that, man. I'll watch that. All right, let's get on to the next story. What do we got here? We've got Texas Governor Greg Abbott bars 1 million plus ineligible people from the voter rolls. Well, we love to hear it, don't we? See, the left destroys statues and we remove people who are ineligible to vote from the voter rolls. You know why? Because we actually care if the legitimate people are voting or if it's fake voters. It's really weird because conservatives and Republicans in office, we have been working so hard to say only the people who should legitimately be allowed to vote, need to vote, in an election. And the left keeps going, no. Everything you're doing is voter suppression. We've got to make it as, we've got to facilitate voter fraud. We've got to create as much opportunity for voter fraud as possible, right? And then they're like, but the 2020 election was perfect. It was perfect. And the 2024 election is going to be fine too. And, there's never any cheating in any elections. But you're not allowed to try to ensure that only people who are, who should vote are voting. We're going to read the beginning of this. It says, Newsweek reports the removal of 1.1 million people from the voter rolls, which include those who have moved out of state, are deceased, or who are not American citizens. And this came since the signing of the Senate Bill 1, SB 1, into law in September 2021.
Isn't that wild? 1 million? Over 1 million?
Well, what's weird is I've heard this before, that like apparently these voter rolls, like people move out of state or whatever, and
I was being
rarely get
sarcastic,
cleaned up.
Chris. I was being sarcastic because obviously that's what's been going on. Nothing weird about it.
Right. Yeah. No, but it should be weird though, right? I mean, it should be something that is shocking, right? But yeah, this is what I've heard is like they never really clean these things up, and there are ways, and I don't exactly know the mechanism by which they do this, but there are ways to use those voter rolls in order to facilitate voter fraud, right? So if there's people on the voter rolls that are no longer eligible to vote there, in your state, you can use those names to create fake ballots and whatnot, and vote fraudulently. But Greg Abbott, I mean, the reality is this is going to be done in Republican states, right? They're going to keep their voter rolls clean, and the Democrats run states, whether they're just a full-on blue state or whether they're a swing state.
The swing state,
they're going to keep. Yeah, they're the most important ones. Anyway, you got any thoughts on this, Jared?
Yeah, it's there's been a handful of states that have done it over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I know just up the street here, Glenn Youngkin in Virginia, it's like 19 minutes from my house. He just did it as well. I forget the number he did, but in the total number, there were 6,303 illegals who were not even eligible to vote. Shocker. Yeah, I mean, the left's been doing it and they've been getting away with it. For instance, the last election during the COVID season, when we were still living in Massachusetts, there were 3 people of voting age in our home. We never asked for a ballot, yet each person had 2 of them mailed. So we had potential of 8 votes, 6 mail-in and 2 in person. So that's how Massachusetts rolls.
Wow, that's crazy. What are your thoughts, Jason?
Well, it's funny if you see the way the Democrats are spinning it. We're like trying to cancel out people's vote rights. Like they're literally saying like they're like they think it's legitimate votes that they're trying to get, that the governor's trying to get rid of. So they're spinning.
They always spin it in these weird ways. Yeah.
But
they're always lying about everything.
I think pretty much everybody knows that it's truth. That there's truth to that, and that it's obvious. But they got to fight, because that's the way they win. That's the way they win. Because I truly believe these Democrats are only winning through cheating. Because you can't tell me that people are actually voting for these crazies, man. You just can't.
Yeah, especially when Ben Franklin still votes.
Exactly. and he's voting Democrat.
Right.
Come on.
No. Every dead person, no matter how Christian they are, no matter how Republican they voted throughout their life, as soon as they die, they immediately become a Democrat. It's really weird how that works.
Abraham Lincoln, he votes Democrat every election.
Every election. Yeah, it's crazy. Trade deficit in goods surges to highest in over 2 years. Now, this is pretty disheartening, I think, because this is one of the ways Trump essentially fixed the economy back in 2016 when he got in. I think he was started in 2017, but it says the rise was driven by a surge in imports, which rose 6.1 billion to 275.6 billion. Exports were unchanged at 172.9 billion. Incomes are derived from spending, blah, 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 blah. Now, what is this ad? Jeez, why do I always get these weird ads on Breitbart? It's the craziest thing. The thing that's frustrating to me about this is, they keep saying that, like, Kamala's going to bring about all these amazing policies. She's going to fix the economy. She's going to do all this great stuff. And I think Trump has the best response to this, which is, well, why, if these things are so amazing, why don't you do them now? Why don't you do them now?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and like, you know, they're kind of pretending like Trump has been in office the last 4 years, and they're kind of running on this almost like this hope and change message. It feels like it. She sees like, you know, we're not looking back, we're looking forward. We're not going back. That's what they keep saying. We're not going back. We're not going back. What do you mean we're not going to go back to prosperity?
Yeah.
We're not going to go. We're not going to go back to like a country where, you know, we weren't mocked by the rest of the world. We weren't leaving weapons in Afghanistan. I don't know. Jared, you got anything to say about this?
Yeah, you know, for the folks who have a business mind, we know that the only president who's really run this country like a business with a bottom line, a budget and income and export is Donald Trump. And it becomes obvious that the people running don't know their ass from their elbow because they're spending and printing as much as they can. They've shut down manufacturing here in the country, and now we're seeing it rear its ugly head. And if people are happy with that, then by golly, keep voting blue. But it's destroying this country, and if we don't win this election, America's not going to look like America much longer.
Yep. Exactly,
Jason.
And that is one of the main reasons why I voted for Trump. Is he wasn't a politician, he was a businessman. He dealt with these politicians because of that, you know. So that was one of the main reasons why I supported him in 2016. And when he won, he actually did what he promised to do. And if he had another 4 years, this country would, oh man, I can only imagine how the United States would have been. And you're right. If Kamala becomes president, that's it. I think I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Chris to Bali and move my whole family there.
No, yeah, the whole thing is a little bit terrifying. There's definitely no way. I don't think there's. How could Kamala possibly win? You know, she doesn't even have a platform. She's running on two things, which is insane to me. She's running on, I've changed my positions from when I ran in 2020. That's her platform. I've become more moderate than 2020. That's essentially it. Plus, also some of these policies of Trump's.
Right. Don't ask me anything on any of those policies.
Yeah, don't ask me anything on either the policies I've flipped on or any of Trump's stuff. Don't ask me on any of it. But yeah, basically, I've moderated from 2020. And I've taken
her winning strategy is just do what Trump did. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of the stuff she's saying is like, it's just
not that she'll do any of it. But
she will, of course, she won't. It's just empty promises. It's just empty rhetoric. You know what? The funny thing, I keep telling everybody, look, she's not really a communist. None of these people are communists, right? Like I don't even think the head of the Soviet Union was a quote unquote communist, right? Because like the politicians aren't ever communists. What they are are dictators, right? They're authoritarians. They want to control you, and they know that if they can convince enough people to embrace communism, that they can get total control of you.
Yes.
Right. And they think that they're smarter than everybody else and that they're going to run this country perfectly the more control they have. And the best way they can do that is to convince the country to go Marxist. Yeah. And so that's what they do.
Exactly. And that's what I tell everybody. It's really not a commie. It's not a Democrat. It's not a Republican. It's a people in power, people that want power problem. You know, it's not
absolutely,
because they use all that stuff to divide us, to keep, you know, and of course it's the useful idiots, the regular Joe Schmo on the street that's the actual communist. But you know,
exactly,
once the communists take control, those useful idiots are the first ones put into prison. You know?
They are effed. They are effed. Yeah. Sonic Blue Strat jumped in and he says, according to the NPCs, what's the benefit of being a citizen? If Kamala wins, I'm identifying as an illegal. No hablo inglés, comrade. the stupidity has reached apocalyptic, biblical, and astronomical levels. It's true. Yeah. It's true. Jason thinks this is the apocalypse.
Yeah, I do. I think we're in the end times.
He thinks it's end times. Yeah. He thinks it's end times. I disagree with him. I don't think it's end times, but I do think it's definitely possible. I mean, it does start to feel like it. All right, last story. No, is this last story? No, there's two more stories left. There's two more stories left. This is the second to last, and it's about our favorite Taylor Swift. God, I love her. Somebody wrote the other day, Actually, I think it was a friend of mine on X. Friend, people, other YouTubers and stuff. I forget what his name was. I think it's Liberal Hive Mind. And he said something like, yeah, Liberal Hive Mind's awesome, by the way. You should subscribe to his channel.
Yep.
And he writes, he writes something like, Taylor Swift's music is for like low IQ people who are easily amused or something. I can't remember. It was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal. Anyway,
I feel terrible, man. Damn. I actually like Taylor Swift. I'm probably the only conservative and toxic masculinity male that actually likes Taylor Swift.
I
guarantee you, if she was conservative and she supported Trump, everybody would be Taylor Swift. So come on,
she's awesome. Yeah. No, well, I'm not a particularly I'm not like a fan of hers, but I don't know. I mean, her music's not the worst thing I've ever heard, I guess.
The thing I like about her is that she's she's not like these crazy singers. She's a white girl. She's kind of conservative. She doesn't go crazy, so it's rare to see that in entertainment, and she does, her music is popular. It is kind of catchy.
I feel like you're trying to convince Jared not to lose all respect for you right now.
do I have to bust out
I feel
my
like that's what's going on. All right. It says Taylor Swift terror plot suspect. He planned to kill tens of thousands of people, says the CIA. Maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. Let's have a look here. It says the CIA notified Austrian authorities of a scheme which allegedly included. I'm sorry for these ads, you guys. These are terrible. Which allegedly included links to the Islamic State group. The intelligence and subsequent arrests ultimately led to the cancellation of 3 sold out. You know what annoyed me about that actually is that they canceled this tour. I'm going to just close that out.
Hold on. Yeah, I was going to say, Chris, look what the world has gotten to. Look at that ad. Like remember back in the day, it was only like pretty women and it's like,
it looked like a Jennifer Lopez
video.
No,
you're right. It's like cardiologists. How older women are slimming down quickly. Now they always had kind of ads like this, like clickbaity stuff. I had I have stuff to say about that, but I won't get into it right now. But yeah, I mean. Well, it's good that they stopped this terrorist attack, I guess. If it is 10, I don't know. I think they lie sometimes. I know the FBI lies sometimes. I look at the Whitmer thing and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it was tens of thousands. Maybe it was 10. Who knows? Maybe they're just trying to inflate to make themselves seem cool. Maybe it really was true. I don't know. Either way, I thought it was kind of silly for Taylor Swift to cancel her concert because of a plot that was thwarted. You'd think that she'd go, oh, well, now I know this one's good because they stopped the terrorist. It's the ones they didn't stop the terrorists that you need to worry about. I feel like stopping those tour dates was like a little silly. Like I understand that she might be scared to go do it, but
so you're saying they're protecting her?
Why would they not? She doesn't support Trump.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I'm sure that they actually would want to keep Swift alive. I mean. She's going to
I mean protect, even canceling the concerts. Maybe it's just to protect her completely, like her whole
of course that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't really have a huge opinion on Taylor Swift. What do you think, Jared? Are you a Swiftie?
No, my kids love her music though, but I think canceling those 3 concerts, what a drastic shift in the GDP of that country, because her tour just is a money printing.
Yeah. True.
It's crazy.
True. Yep. I don't think Austria is exactly hurting, but I don't know how many immigrants they've taken in lately.
After me admitting that I kind of liked Taylor Swift, can we talk about guns now?
All right. Well, you have one more story. Do you want to do the story first? Or you want to do the guns first?
Go for the story. Go for the story. It's an important one, I guess.
All right, let's do the story. Yeah, I mean, it's the one that we sort of added at the very end there. Hold on, let me present. Share screen. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so no thanks.
That's the article I found.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Thank you. Report: Robert Kennedy Jr. unable to withdraw from Michigan ballot. Yeah, this is kind of weird. So he's dropped out essentially. He's requested to be taken off the ballots in all the swing states so he doesn't hurt Trump. But Michigan's like, no, we're not taking off the ballot. We want you to hurt Trump. Meh. It actually said man. It was weird. Let me go ahead and read this. It says, although Kennedy seeks to withdraw from the ballot from 10 swing states, he will be unable to do so in Michigan. Blah, 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 blah.
Now, hey, isn't it funny? Now the Democrats want him to run. Wow, isn't that crazy?
Right? They want to take away his Secret Service protection because he technically dropped out of these 10, but they're not going to let him drop out of the 10. It's crazy. 3 states so far have said we're not taking you off now. It's they want that slim margin that he was going to pull to affect Donald Trump in the worst way.
Yeah. But I mean,
I don't think it's going to work. I think Trump's going to win. Yeah.
No, but I think his voters. I was going to say, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s voters, they know he dropped out. They're not going to vote for him. They're going to vote for Trump.
There will be a few, but for the most part, yeah, you're right. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I get this from a lot of people. They're like, I want Trump to win. I think Trump's going to win, but I think the Democrats are going to steal it. That's what I think is going to happen. And I always say to them, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this election. Like, I think in 2020, Trump had said with the mail-in ballots, there's a risk of voter fraud and they could steal the election. But I don't think anyone really believed that was going to happen, because as bad as we thought the left was at that time, and as vicious and nasty and how much they lied and how awful they were, stealing an election, an American election, to me, that seemed to be crossing a Rubicon. That seemed to be beyond the pale. That seemed to be so horrible that it didn't even seem like the Democrats in Washington, D.C. were capable of doing something that sinister. And when that happened, I think it woke everybody up. They were like, holy crap. Okay, we can never let that happen again. Basically, I think if they steal the election, it's obvious they steal the election, there is going to be hell to pay. It's not going to be an insurrection like the January 6th protest. It'll be a real, like a military style thing that's going to go down if they steal the election again. So I think they got to be very, very careful what they do here in November. And if they think they can get away with it, they'll try it. But everybody's going to be looking at every single angle trying to figure this thing out.
I think they want a real insurrection to happen. That way they could use massive powers against the country, So I think they're hoping for something like that.
Yeah, but I don't think they realize, like, there's still a lot of members of our military who are good conservative patriots.
I'm not saying it's going to work in their favor, but I think they want something like that.
Well, yeah, like I always say, it's not, the Democrats don't always have the best plan. They just just do something. Desperation. Okay, you guys talk guns for a little while. I'm gonna say my thumbs.
David A brings a good point. He says, no, not Dave. Oh, hold on. Oh, Dave Mitch says they shouldn't take Biden off if they don't take our payoff, right?
Oh, that's funny, man. That's very funny.
I think the biggest
Biden
risk
should be on every ballot.
I think the biggest risk for the steal is actually down ballot. They know everybody's going to be looking at the presidential, and if they think even if Trump does win, well, then he's not going to have the House of Senate if we can steal that, and then it's just a lame duck presidency. So I think the biggest risk is down ballot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I say if we don't win the Congress and Senate and the House and Senate, I mean,
we're in trouble.
It's going to be the same old as his first term.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we need the whole thing. We need the whole enchilada, as they say. Speaking of enchiladas, here's G.I. Jose.
And go ahead.
It's a super chat, Jason. Come on, man.
I had to kind of. It's tradition now.
I swear, every time, Jared, every time I go, speaking of that, we got a super chat, and then Jason always goes, actually, he always jumps in with something. And I'm like, okay, with the super chat, let me do the super chat. It'll be 3 seconds, man. All right, he says, no Nintendo, no habla English. I don't 100% understand it, but I still laughed. It was still funny. All right. So, Jason, I think you want to interrogate Jared a little bit about the gun stuff. So why don't you go ahead and ask him what his favorite gun is and all that stuff?
So what's your favorite weapon of choice, and what's your day-to-day concealed carry or open carry? I don't know how the laws are in your state, but
Tennessee's a permitless carry. We can do either or.
Oh, you live in Tennessee?
Yeah, I'm in Tennessee now.
Oh, I'm planning on moving there.
Beautiful. Moving to America is beautiful. You should check it out.
Exactly. That's what I tell my wife all the time. I go, wife, I want to move to America. Let's go to Tennessee.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're in Florida. It's not too bad.
No, I'm in Miami, not Florida. I'm in Miami. So
That's
it's
true. Okay,
it's
fair.
you're crossing the border. You're crossing the border. So
favorite gun is my Staccato XC. Love it. It's a cheat code. I got to take it out to an actual pistol class, and it's awesome. If you haven't run one, I would implore you to run one at a range if you can. It's like a sewing machine. As far as my daily carry, it changes based off the seasons. Like the warm weather today, shorts, t-shirt. I'm running my Glock 43X MOS. Just something small enough where I can hide it, but still enough, magazine capacity where I can handle a few things if I have to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I carry here in Miami. It's so hot, and I don't dress like the clothes I wear. It's basically a t-shirt and jeans. Mm-hmm. So I have like a Glock 42, 380. I want to change that to the 9, but for me it's perfect because you can't see it in any clothes that I wear here in this hot weather. So people are probably gonna kill me, go crazy on me for that because they're like, oh, 380. Oh, that's not enough power. But all right. So what is your views on like suppressors and the laws on that and all that? And do you think Trump will pass a law to like get rid of, or will cancel that law out?
That's a loaded question. So suppressors I love. They were illegal in Massachusetts, so the first thing I did when I moved here was bought 5. So I have 5 of them now. And luckily they all came. 3 of the 5 came during this rapid succession where we're getting them back faster than ever. And the fastest one I got is a 4-hour wait. So if you're out there wondering if you should buy a can, probably now is the time to do it. Do I think Trump will rescind the NFA portion of that law? I don't. It would need to be an act of Congress because it's an income for the government. Like they're not going to vote. They're not going to just give up that income. They make millions of dollars on the back of gun owners. It's a tax. I think it's illegal. I think it's unconstitutional. If you go by Bruin, there was nothing that would fall under text history or tradition for that. But I don't think Trump does that. I just don't. He could have done it already. And in fact, in his first presidency, he said he wasn't a fan of suppressors. So it'd be interesting to see how he comes back from that. But if you can get them in your state, get them. If you can find them, a lot of places are sold out. But the times that they're coming back right now are phenomenal.
Are there a lot of cases of suppressors being used by criminals such that you would need any kind of a ban anywhere?
No, typically, no, because you have to go through a background check, and criminals aren't going to go through a background check and wait 19 months to get a suppressor. They're just going to go steal something and cap somebody with a Glock 40. But it's the Hollywood thing that kind of makes them so scary. That everybody's going to turn
it's
into
because it's the
but that's a funny thing. Suppressors really don't suppress the sound that much.
They do, but it's not. It's like half. It's not like
trust me,
little whisper.
Not even. Trust
me.
Unless
it's a 22 and you're shooting subsonic, it brings the noise level to that of a jackhammer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right.
That is one thing I want to do. I want to get like a 22 kind of AR rifle type, but suppressed with a suppressor, so I could be silent like that.
Could he carry that instead of your 380?
Oh yeah, I wish. Hey, it has the same amount of power, doesn't it? Right. The other thing, do you think the Supreme Court or Trump, or I don't know, you think the nation will ever go universal concealed carry? Like the whole nation has to comply to that?
I'd love to see it. Honestly, I don't know if it happens because it brings up the states' rights issue. The states' rights that we push for, or even so the Roe v. Wade wasn't overturned. It was just the power was returned back to the states, and people's heads are melting, right? It would be the same type of issue. The states have that. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you on that, but it is a Second Amendment It is a constitutional right, right?
It is 100%. It is. But I also think that a permit to carry is unconstitutional as well. We have that already.
Oh yeah,
It's called the Second Amendment.
Agreed. Agreed.
I don't love government permission slips, but I don't think
my state of Florida canceled that, so you don't need a permit here.
Yeah, we have 29 states now that did that.
Yeah.
But there are still, like Massachusetts, you have to prove you're whiter than the undriven snow and then beg for forgiveness and pay all kinds of money. It's unconstitutional. Like, they didn't have to do it in 1791 when we had the Second Amendment ratified and adopted. So they're all unconstitutional, if you ask me. But I don't think we get a national reciprocity. I know, put it this way: if a bill makes it to Donald Trump's desk, assuming the Republicans win the House and the Senate, he has said he'll sign it. That'd be a perfect scenario. You have rhinos you have to worry about too, so we would have to make sure that the filibuster is destroyed and all that stuff. I think that's the only way it does happen, which means people need to really get out and vote to make sure
exactly.
they can't even steal the houses.
The down ballot is so much more important than people are talking about right now.
Yeah, the down ballot is like, that's where I think they're going to try to really steal the election. I think that's what they're. I don't think they're really concerned with the presidency. I mean, they are, but I think the House and the Senate is where they're really going to try to steal the vote. Because I think if they can control that, they can control whatever president is in office. You look concerned, Chris.
No, I'm taking it in. I'm enjoying the banter. One day I'll be a gun guy as well, but not while I'm not in America.
The other question I have is, so I'm a member of the NRA, but I'm a NRA. Sometimes they do stupid things. I'm just like, why? So like, what's an organization that I can like donate to or become a member of that's actually really fighting for people's right, Second Amendment rights?
Gun Owners of America, Second Amendment Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition.
Awesome.
Wow, he riddled that off.
He probably gets that all the time.
Yeah, it's a common question. NRA, if you do your homework, NRA has supported just about every piece of anti-gun legislation for the last forever.
Yep.
They were behind every ban you can possibly think of. They're behind red flags. They were behind the machine gun ban. They were behind a lot of stuff that people aren't. They're behind the NFA. In fact, they helped write it.
Yeah. Do you think everybody should have insurance for like if you're a gun owner? Insurance for like if something happens, or
if it's mandated, no. If Americans want to do something because they want to, like some type of self-defense type insurance, that's the individual's thing. I would make sure you can afford an attorney first and foremost, because you're going to need a really, really good attorney, that somebody who's well vested in self-defense scenarios, shootings. Not just your buddy who helps people get off the DUIs and DWIs. You need somebody who's done, self-defense cases, because you're going to be charged with, homicide, murder. That's on the individual. I don't think that's something that should be required or mandated by government. In fact, I'm sick of government mandating anything.
Yeah.
But it would be, if you're in a spot where you need a lot of money and you don't have a lot of money, sometimes there are many programs out there that could assist in that scenario. So in that case, just make sure you do your homework on the one you choose. Yeah.
And the other thing I want to say is I've been watching you for a long time, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the gun community, and your channel is a great channel. Everybody that's listening should subscribe to his channel. It's a great thing he's doing.
Thank you, brother.
And it's fantastic to have somebody so knowledgeable about a subject. I mean, you're like a literal expert on the show. So it's an honor to have you on the show, my friend.
It's an honor to be here.
Guns and Gadgets. Subscribe to the channel right now. We're ending the show, so you don't have to continue watching. You can just switch over to Guns and Gadgets and watch some of his stuff.
Exactly.
But anyway, thank you, Jared, so much for joining the show. Any last words to the Mr. Reagan audience?
Yeah, if you're a gun owner, there are almost 10 million of us in this country that are not registered to vote. Gun owners and hunters. That is scary.
Wow.
If you're worried about them stealing it, get out, register, and go vote. In fact, Donald Trump told us at the Gun Owners of America convention 2 weeks ago that they need us. So when the campaign reaches out to you and says, we need you, that means they need that. You got to beat the steal, make it impossible to cheat. 10 million votes going towards the Second Amendment rather than towards communism is a huge swing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Scott Pressler, my buddy Scott Pressler, he's kind of pushing that, getting gun owners to register. Because a lot of gun owners are like, screw the government. I don't want to deal with any of it. You know,
that amazes me. Like, if you're a gun owner, you should be the one that's there ready to register. I mean, it's crucial right now.
Yeah. Especially when we'll all complain about it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do something about it. All right. Well, that is it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody in the super chat. We love you guys, the best fans on the internet, despite the fact that we are the least professional show on the internet. Thanks again. And remember, it's not that all liberal friends are ignorant. It's just they know so much. That is not so. Good night.